Welcome again to this channel. My name is Duncan and I am proud and happy to have you here. Guys, not even a day after we had a conversation about the lessons that Kenya can learn from Ghana, I come across this article that says how Ghana has declared itself bankrupt. This information could be a bit, maybe I've come across it a bit late with a few days, but it's important for me just to make this clarification, and not necessarily clarification, but for us to delve a bit deep into this conversation about Ghana. I have always told you guys, it is not sustainable for you to live and to survive on debt, even as an individual. You cannot be a sustainable human being when you are constantly borrowing for you to meet your day-to-day needs. The same thing applies even to countries. When you see your country consistently borrowing, then there is a problem. How should a country survive? How should an individual survive? You need to find ways of being more productive. Be more productive so that you can generate your own income, and your own income, you make sure you live within what your income can provide you. Apply the same principle to countries. A country must find a way of generating its own income. And how it does that is through taxes. Now, I am not so much into encouraging the government to increase taxes. I am so much into encouraging the government to expand the tax base. If you expand the tax base, that means you include more people into the pool of people who are paying taxes, so that not just a few people are paying taxes. For example, the way I agreed with the position of the president to tax content creators. Yeah? If people are making money on social media, just the same way someone who is working in the office, everyone is paying taxes. So any other person making money should ideally be paying taxes. Yeah? So that is one of the ways in which he was expanding the tax base, not necessarily increasing the rate of taxes. So Ghana has found itself in a situation where they have gone bankrupt. I know it is unusual for you to hear that a country has gone bankrupt. And that is even so surprising to people who normally say that I am going to invest in government bonds, in government bills, because those ones are usually honored. The government cannot default. While somehow it is true, because it takes really a long while before a government finds itself in a situation like which Ghana has found itself. Most governments will find a way of managing it through the circumstances or the situations. Now, how did Ghana find itself here? Ghana found itself here because Ghana were not collecting as much revenue as possible compared to how much they were spending. They were not collecting sufficient tax revenues. And every time now they found themselves with a shortfall in their budget, they will run across the globe to get money to meet their needs. Yeah? So they will borrow and consistently borrow. And that borrowing, what it does, it increases your obligations to repay debt. So you find that you have to repay the debt. Now, please remember, debt is paid in USD, especially those foreign denominated debts. No one will accept that you pay them in your local currency. So unless you have sufficient dollars, when the time to repay debts come, unless you have sufficient dollars, you cannot meet those obligations. Yeah? And dollars don't just fall into an economy. Dollars come into the economy when people invest into the economy. When foreign direct investments are done into the economy. Foreign direct investments come into a country only when there is stability, when the inflation is managed at a certain level, when interest rates are good and they're stable, so that someone can even tell how much they are going to generate out of that economy. That is how investments come. Investments come when you export. Yeah? So if you cannot do all those things, you will not get dollars. You cannot just get dollars out of nowhere for you to meet your obligations. That is how Ghana found itself there, by over-relying on borrowing. And then you finally find yourself in a situation now that you have to repay that, and you don't have. That has messed the country, because as it is right now, the currency, the Ghana's cedis, and as you all know, Ghana cedis is way stronger than the Kenya shillings, by the way. But it is now depreciating at a rate of almost over 40%. The inflation in Ghana is at over 40%. It was at around 50 something percent. It has just gone down. Yeah? But over 40% inflation is bad. It is not yet hyperinflation, of course, but it is not good for an economy because producers, manufacturers, and consumers cannot plan around anything. Everyone is living in a situation where they don't know what will happen next. So prices are changing morning to evening. You buy something 100 shillings in the morning, in the evening it's 120, 130. Yeah. So it is not a very good thing. Now, they have had to declare bankruptcy and they have gone to IMF for help. IMF is usually the lender of last resort. Like when you look left and right and you can't see where you're going to get money, you run to IMF. Yeah, because now IMF has the obligation and the mandate to rescue economies and to advise, provide policy recommendations to countries that are in a crisis and to just spur economic cooperation from a financial side. Yeah. So IMF has given them some money so that they can meet some of these obligations and to try and stabilize the economy. But one of the conditions they have been given is that they have to repay the domestic borrowers, the treasury bonds and the bills kind of guys. Yeah. So you see, when IMF comes and gives you money, IMF comes with conditions. And sometimes those conditions are the things that people don't like. Yeah. And that's why they are the lenders of last resort. Because when you go to them, they will not just give you the money. They will give you money and they will lump up conditions for you to be able. And rightfully so, because they have a responsibility of making sure that you stabilize. So you cannot go and borrow IMF and misuse. You cannot go and borrow IMF and then you come and try to do whatever it is that you want. So IMF has come in with some instructions on how they are going to approach their fiscal policies. That is how they are going to generate more money locally. So you can also almost expect that taxes in Ghana will somehow, there is going to be a lot of adjustments to that. But of course with protection of the poorest. Yeah. So that is one of the things that they are trying to do. And I would not want our country to find itself in a similar scenario. But there is every evidence to believe that we are also just balancing things. Yeah, we are just balancing things because we are still borrowing. Actually, I'm releasing something out that William Ruto has borrowed more than Uhuru in the space of, when you compare last year and this year since he came into power, he has actually borrowed more significantly. One thing that I'll just credit him is that he has doubled the amount that he's supposed to repay the lenders. So previously we were paying the lenders around 230 billion. He has doubled it. So we are a bit safe on that side, but he has to now go and look for that money that he will use to repay those people. That is why you see now he's coming back and looking at taxes as the only solution. Taxes ideally should be the only solution, but not from an increasing perspective, but from an expansion perspective. So guys, I just thought of letting you know that, and it's important that we look around and be informed and just know what is happening around us. And when you go out there and you speak about some of these concepts, please be empowered. Be empowered and speak from a place of knowledge. Please remember to subscribe. Yeah, remember to subscribe. This channel is going to impart you with very useful knowledge. It's just going to expand your approach to a lot of things in life. And I would like to be part of that process. I would like to be part of that growth and to see people embracing a different kind of news, a different kind of discussion. And I'll be happy to be here and to be giving you so much of what I know, and we share information. Thank you very much. Remember to share, to subscribe, and above all, to like and to comment.